I'm now back in my normal gym. If you saw my last vlog, you know that I was in Latvia visiting Daniels Laizans. It was one hell of a trip and I enjoyed it so much. Both for like content creating and all of that stuff, like that's one part of it, of course. But the other thing is just for me to like, it's so motivating, so inspiring just to see other people, especially him, like being a role model for me for many, many years. So seeing him live, he giving tips, teaching me all the stuff that he's been taught during his career as well. Like it's just so valuable. So this trip, I really needed it and it was one hell of a trip. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do more trips like this in the future. Because before this competition, or before I visited him, I had only spoken to him a little bit on competition and sort of that stuff. We like had a decent connection, but never really got in depth when it comes to subjects we spoke about or all of those stuff. So I didn't know him too well, or he didn't know me that good either. But now after just being with him for a few days, like my respect for him just totally changed. He treated me so fucking well when I was there. You know, it might not sound like a lot, but when I came there, he picked me up at the airport. That's like one thing, just taking his time. I could have taken a cab, but no, he wanted to pick me up. When I got there, they already like made a whole room for me. Like they made the bed. I got my own towel and all of that stuff. Like that's not obvious in my opinion. Like it just shows that he really thought about it and they really cared. And that was one thing. And then just overall, like his vibe, the way he is like it's spot on. I didn't know who he really was before this, but now he's like, my respect for him has just grown. So I'm looking forward to meeting him again, and it might even be that he comes to Sweden and I will definitely go back to Riga, Latvia as well, because it's just a total vibe, and I think there's so many benefits of meeting each other. And it was, the crazy thing as well is that it's only 1 hour for me with flight there, and that is almost as long that it takes me to go from my home to the gym I used to train in before. Of course, if I do the airplane, I need to take the car to the airport and all that, but let's just assume the actual travel time in the air is almost the same as with car from my home to the gym we used to train in. And that's insane when you think about it. And also, if you book things in advance, the pricing isn't that much either. So I hope it's gonna be more trips like this one in the future. But moving on to the plan for today, it's gonna be a front lever workout. I got my hours in. We did a night session at Laizans the day before I left, so we went to sleep at 3 o'clock at night. And then I woke up at 6 in the morning, took the airplane, so I got 3 hours of sleep. So tonight I slept in, I got like 12 hours of sleep. I never slept that much. So hopefully I'm recovered to some degree, still feel some soreness because I've been just destroying my body for 3 days. But we should be able to do a front lever session. So that's gonna be the plan. And besides that, the exercise is roughly the same as before I left to Latvia. So let's get started. First up, front touch, and I'm aiming for 8 seconds. Like that's pretty high now considering my status or how my body feels, but 8 seconds is the goal, it's always been, and when I start to get 8 seconds consistently, that's fucking good. Like it is a solid number, which means that for me then to be in a front lever and do the front lever pull up, I'm gonna enter a sort of position that my body is really comfortable in. Whereas if I'm really weak in top front lever hold, this is why I started training it in the beginning, it's gonna be as soon as I do the top, even if I'm really strong in the dynamic, I can't hold up here because my body just doesn't have the strength and the connection for it. And that's why I'm training this, I want to get it solid, so as soon as I start to pull up, my body's like, fuck, I've been here a lot, so here we can rest for a few seconds. And 3 seconds specifically if we are on competition. So let's aim for 8 seconds, get it really solid. Not 8 seconds, but it was alright for being the first one. First set, always shit. Second one, slightly better, and preferably the third one is fucking spot on. Let's do another one. Ah! I told you, ass. It's getting better each set, especially in the beginning when the body is just not really into it. So, improvements. Let's see how the final is. A little bit on the wrist as well for the fast grip. I think it was rough like the last one. Not better, but it's alright considering my circumstances and the amount that I've been training. I'm surprised my body actually managed to do this as well, so we're good. Let's move on. Front lever pull-ups to just normal front lever holds. Before we move on, I really want to mention something that I taught, or that Daniels Laizans taught me, and that was when it comes to skill training to some degree, and like what do you need to train to improve in skills, because he has for a long time now just been grinding sort of, let's say, strength training, not necessarily training specifically front lever training or planche training. He's been doing more like weighted stuff and some weight stuff as well, targeting muscles, building just pure strength in shoulder, lats, back, whatever, you name it. And now after his sort of deficit, he dropped down some weight and he destroys statics without even training for it for a long period of time. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because you don't necessarily always need to train skills to get better at skills. Sometimes it's enough for you to go, of course we need some muscle connection to understand the skill, but if you for a period of time just lack motivation, you hate whatever you're training, go away for a little while, rep some stuff out, because trust me, it's a different feeling that pump, gaining that like muscle size as well and all of this, and then when you come back, it's still gonna benefit your skill training. So have that in mind, because he has done it. It showed like his level on statics fucking high, and despite not training for it in a long period of time. So if you're ever lacking motivation, switch up your training, go for some mass instead, of course strength, and target the muscles that you would use in your skills, and boom, you're still gonna get fucking tons of progress. Let's move on to some front lever pull-ups. Front lever pull-ups, I got my lightest band, aiming for 4 repetitions and then a max hold. Let's get it. I have had some problems with the band though, it hitting my hands, so when I'm using a band, I think that's the only thing that sucks. Can't grab it. Is that when you have the band here over our bum, the band is gonna be like around the bar, which means that if our hands are there, they are gonna be in the way. So if I'm using the band, if I have it under the bum on my legs, which is slightly worse for connection, I'm not gonna have this problem because the band would be like this. But if I have it on my lower back, which is really what we want to get the help there, it's gonna be against the bar, which means my hands can't be right here. So it has to be slightly wider. But then again, it's I think it's still worth it for me to have wider. Then I could potentially also put the band under my bum and train it like that. I will lose some of the connection, and in my opinion, it's more worth it for me to train wider, because if I'm strong wide, most likely gonna have the strength slightly tighter as well. Either way, let's do a set and see how I perform. Oof. Woo! Pretty good, to be honest. Almost stronger than than my last session when I left for Latvia. That was a bad workout though, but this was actually alright. Connection was there, of course not crazy explosive, but it was good. Let's do one more. Oh. Pretty right. 3 solid reps, the 4th one. Not the height not the height. The height wasn't even close to being touched, but 3 solid reps, still pretty damn good. And also if you're wondering why I drop down and then enter the front lever again, it's because I lose that sort of retraction when I come from top hold. And just the normal holds are also a bit harder with a false grip. So therefore I will max out there, but when I feel like, nah, I'm just getting shitty form, I'd rather drop down, correct the form, get a few extra seconds. The drop is on its way. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna miss it. Still hyped though. Woo! Oh shit! Pretty solid sets, but I do really feel the fatigueness in my body. Now it's time for the Victorian press-ups. And let me tell you something with the Victorian, like ever since I started doing these one, I haven't necessarily done any Victorian holds. I do them during freestyle sessions, and of course that's some sort of activation, but purely by increasing my retraction strength has benefited me a lot when I'm actually performing the Victorian, even if I'm not necessarily in the hold. So this is another just clear example of, even if you're not always training the specific skill, doing training specifically for muscles involved or sort of movements involved in that skill is going to help a lot. And this is one of my weak spots with the Victorian. So of course, if I increase my weakest link, the overall performance is going to be way better. So let's do 3 sets, 10 reps. Woo. It's really good at targeting. Now it's a bit hard to tell how strong I am, but I'm thinking I'm going to do tomorrow's session as well. It's going to be a planche, and then I have freestyle, but I might actually for next week see if I do some progressive overload for a few of the exercises. This one, I think we definitely can bump it up to 12 reps instead. And then for planche training, for the straight arm races and those stuff where we can increase just pretty low percentage, the jump isn't as drastic, I think I'm going to do it. So we're constantly pushing the body. Because now I've been training at least for 2 weeks with this sort of setup, which is a good estimate for maintaining and, you know, getting comfortable with the weight. But then of course we need to increase, otherwise we're just staying the same. Whew. Pretty damn good. Let's get started with the last one. Whew. Feels really good with this one. Now we only got the weighted pull-ups left. 40 kilograms, 8 reps. That's what we did before. Then let's stick to 8 reps, and then for next week, we're gonna add it or increase to 9 reps. Like, was that 7 or 8? I'm gonna do slightly more explosive, I think. This is really good for time and attention, but also way heavier. Perfect. 8 reps. Slightly tighter for this set as well. You can see. Bit quicker as well. It's nice, combine it. But I don't know with the grip, like I'm actually stronger in wide, I think. But then again, combining wide, tight, it's never a bad idea to just switch around a bit, get strong in all sort of positions. But I think wider is more comfortable, to be honest. Might also be that the range of motion, if I do wide, this is almost like a full pull-up. If I have here, the range of motion that my body needs to travel, it's a bit further as well. So the distance, if anyone knows about energy, if you need to move something longer, it requires more. It might be something that as well. And of course, if I've always been doing wide for a long time, build more strength in that area as well. Yeah, didn't mean to have a physics class, but that's what it is. Ah! That was bad. That was so bad. Fuck, I'm fatigued. Last reps don't count. Like you know this point where you're like super high motivation, same as yesterday, even though I didn't get any sleep at all. I just stayed up the whole day just editing because I was so like motivated to do it. Same as now after this trip, even if my body's fucked, I'm so high motivation that I really, really want to train. And it's rare, it's not always that we have these days. So don't take it for granted. And I try to make the best out of it, but still to some degree I need to know my body. Like I can't push it too hard if it's really dead. And the only reason I'm doing it is because of sort of dopamine, adrenaline, and that motivation. But to some degree, I can still show up, do the best I can, use the motivation instead of just completely resting. Either way, let's do light flexing. And then, of course, we have tomorrow's workout as well, which is going to be a crazy Maltese and planche one. All right, I'm thinking the standard double bicep, triceps, and back as well. And I have one thing you guys are gonna enjoy. It's not for today, but I actually filmed some flexing at the end of the last vlog I did with Daniels Laizans. So we do like dual flexing, and it's mad. Like he's such a crazy like athlete, but also physique-wise, like so shredded. You see like all the muscles or fibers and everything. It's insane. So just teasing you guys with that video. But for now, I guess you just gotta appreciate my small flexing. And it also taught me to go a bit higher with arms. I've always done almost like this, but if you go up almost here, slightly bigger. Tricep. Pretty solid. Double back. Same thing is here, like not settle here, but actually go up. Takes a bit more effort though. And my Maltese flex, this one I didn't do back there. But always to some degree works. Alright, I'm really satisfied with today's workouts considering everything. But let's see if I even get some more rest for tomorrow, and we're gonna destroy that planche one as well. So, see you guys then. It is a new day and it's time for the Maltese and planche workout. And let me tell you something, this is sort of a teaser. I did attempt the full Maltese without any resistance band when I was at Daniels Laizans' place during the session. I'm not gonna tell whether it went good or bad. I guess you'll have to see, but let's just say progress has been happening. And like even if it's slow, it's really consistent. Like with the Maltese, every sort of session, or to some degree, like every week at least, I do feel a difference in strength, connection, all of that. So it's, even if it's not a lot, it in the long run makes a huge difference. So especially if I compare my attempts now compared to the first session I did starting off, it's a massive jump. So gotta have that in mind. Even if it feels like it just takes fucking forever, it's still progress. Let's do 3 sets of Maltese holds. I'm sticking with this band for today, but as of next week, I'm actually gonna try to lower the resistance band one more step and see how I perform with it. It's a slightly bigger jump than I would like to when it comes to percentage and how hard it is, but I'll give it an attempt because I feel like I can push my limits slightly more, especially now with this grip and my wrists are not getting fucked. Let's do one attempt, see how strong I am today. Whoa. Not too bad. I tried a new grip today. The Daniels Laizans is doing, it's when the pinky finger, or the little finger here, is over. I usually do it with both my pink fingers behind, but he's doing it more like this. Slightly more pressure on the wrist, because with the pink I can lean more and still sort of have the grip without slipping forward. But I don't know. I'll do one more attempt with this one, and then the last one I'll do like I always do and just see which one is most suitable for me. Because then again, everything's not going to be the same for everyone. It's finding the things that work the best for us in the end. That's the most important stuff. So always, if you hear something like this exercise works great for someone, it might not be suitable for you, but give it a try. And then if you like it, stick to it. If you feel like it's progressing, like keep on doing it. But just because someone says it's really good, doesn't always have to be the case for everyone. So have that in mind. I'll do one more like this, see if I can get the hold slightly longer. Last one, it looked like I didn't lean enough in the beginning, so therefore my body was sort of a banana shape. So I'm gonna try to lean a bit more from the start so the hold is more just straight line throughout the whole hold. Let's get it. Whew. I think the form was better. Don't know how long the hold was, but it's pretty right. It's pretty right. I do feel a difference with the grip, having the pinky finger like this is a big difference. I'll do the last one with the pink finger like I always do. And if it's not a difference, it might just be that I'm slightly tired today. If it is a bigger difference, I'm gonna keep it with my pink finger because at the end of the day, I do want to learn the straight bar, but I do want to learn the straight bar Maltese in the most efficient way. And that's going to be the grip, the position, everything that's most comfortable, and increase my holds. Let's go. Ah! Oof. I think that was pretty much the same holding time. Felt slightly weaker or shorter holds than my previous workouts. But then again, I've been struggling my body for a while now, so I need some type of rest, to be honest. But we'll see. I have freestyle tomorrow, and then on Monday, usually I get back with the training. And I do want to try, because like before this trip, I didn't do like crazy much. I had a few extra rest days as well. So I don't necessarily think I need a deload right now. So next week I am going to try to push myself a bit more and make sure to get my sleeps. My diet is pretty damn good right now. but get my hours of sleep as well for maximum recovery, and then I will hopefully perform slightly better on Monday when we're back. So that's gonna be the plan. Let's move on to supinated holds. One step lighter the band, so the 5 to 15 kilograms. Usually it helps about, 7 kgs when I'm done here in just the holds. If I were to do push-ups, it gets stretched more, obviously more towards the probably 15 kg down here. But for holds, 7 kg help, and hopefully can get a solid few seconds with good form. Let's try it out. Wow. Not too bad. Could have been worse, could have been better as well. Let's do 2 more sets. I also want to mention 3 things about the Imhauser Crew that you probably didn't know. The first one is that all my calisthenics programs are up there in video format, which means that you have pull-up, you have the muscle-up, you have handstand push-up as well, and then muscle building, which is basically combining gym training and calisthenics to get massive and add some weight, look huge, aesthetics and all that. So those programs are all in one place. That's the one thing, first thing. The other thing is that you will also be part of a community. So everyone that's in this sort of app, or it is an app, will have access to a community section as well, where you can ask questions that are specific. You can write, for example, send me videos of your training and ask what's good, what's bad, can I change something, or if you need specific help with a certain exercise or whatever it may be, you can ask it. Or if you have something you think other people are going to be benefiting from the answer as well, you can ask it in a section where everyone can comment, see the answer, give you feedback as well, and help each other out. And then the last thing as well is that we have live meetings or through Google Meet or Zoom. So there will be Q&As, for example. We have it in about 1 week right now, where everyone in the community can ask questions and I will explain it. So it's a live meeting, more interaction and all of that style. And of course you can ask anything about it. Then a 4th thing as well is that it's a mobile app. So you literally can download it on whichever phone you have and just click it. As soon as you're in the gym, you have access to everything, all the video format explanations of your training, what you should do to learn the certain skills you're training for, and all of that. So it's super convenient. That's what the community is all about. So it's not just a Discord group, it is way, way bigger than that. I spent a lot of time building it up and continuing to do so. The next things I'm adding is the planche program. It's not up yet, but that's the next one. And then after that, we have the Pront Lever program as well. 2 highly requested things, so it's definitely time to add them now as well. But let's move on and do another hold. Whew. Pretty alright for being the last one. Let's do some straight arm raises. 20 kg dumbbells each arm. This is by far one of my favorite exercises when it comes to like targeting with weights. And I've been doing it for a really long time. Keeps increase my straight arm strength. That of course can apply on all the planche training I do, and just in general also sort of condition my ligaments. So if I'm in this position a lot, if I can do, let's say, on average I do about 10 reps, there's a lot of time and attention, and my ligaments, I'm putting like pressure constantly on it, even though it's the shoulder that's doing the more movement. This is a static hold. And that as well implemented and can use that strength to all my planche stuff, and also feel more comfortable that I have increased strength and that I'm not just jumping onto some exercises and the weak spot is going to be right here. We don't want that. We want to jump on, and our weak spot is always going to be our muscles. We don't want to have our joints or flexibility or wrist flexibility, for example. We don't want that to be the main issue, because then we can't push it that hard. And if we do push it too hard, the chance of injury is fucking high. So I rather keep it safe, work all the movements around it, and make sure that everything I train is mainly going to be limited by my muscle strength. And that's why this exercise is amazing. Whoa. Yeah. I do definitely feel like I'm slightly weaker than I usually am. But stay hard. We continue. Let's go for a second one. Ugh. Fuck, it's heavy today. Holy shit. Last one. Ugh. Zero protraction, but I don't give a fuck. Not the cleanest reps, but it was pretty damn good. We got all the 10 reps in, that's the protraction in the end, but still solid. The straight arm strength, still getting all the pressure. However, I do prefer having protraction at most reps because at that point I'm training sort of protraction strength as well. And of course straight arm at the same time. But let's move on to some weighted dips. Let's get it going. 80 kg, 8 reps, 3 sets. And since I'm a bit more tired today, I'm gonna really make sure to have good form so I don't fuck something up. Oh, I fucking feel it. Also a heads up that all the equipment I'm using is from Gunation, also most of my clothes. And at the moment the summer sales are still going live, so if you're looking for some equipment like the statics bar in my front lever sessions or my parallettes or my dip belts or the clothes I'm wearing, it will all be there, and most things are on discount as well, so it's really beneficial if you're searching for something. And then I also got you with the discount code Simon for 10% extra on all the purchases, even on the already discounted stuff. So have a look. But let's do one more set. First one was a bit heavy, slow reps. We did manage to do 8 at least, but I definitely feel it in my body. That's slightly fatigue, which means that I gotta be careful with what I do. So I make sure the form is good, because of course if I lack something like the protraction here, I open up the chest too much and I push it even though my body isn't meant for it or used to it, it's not gonna end well. So form over everything, especially when you're tired. Woo! Fucking heavy, but only one more set left. Last set. Woo! Fuck, it's heavy. But that was the last one. I'm glad it's over. To sum it up, I think it was pretty decent workouts. Both yesterday's one with the front lever session, that was alright. And then today was also not the shittiest one, definitely not the best one either, but somewhere in between. And considering the fact that I've been just destroying my body for the last couple of days when I was in Latvia, this is pretty alright, or at least I'm happy with it. And then as I also mentioned, the plan for next week is going to be to increase the intensity that I'm putting on my body. So making the exercises slightly harder, and I'm going to try to make it a pretty small jump, which means that, for example, the races where I'm doing 20 kilograms, 10 reps, for me to do then 11 or 12 reps instead, that percentage in increase is pretty small. Then for me to increase, for example, change the resistance band or something like that, and trying to keep the holding time the same, that is a bigger jump because it's harder. So I'll see what I do, but I'm trying to make everything slightly harder than at the moment, so I'm pushing the body. Let's wrap it up. Some flexing. Double bicep. Maybe a light is coming from there. Pretty solid. If you ever wonder which supplements I take creatine and magnesium. And the reason I say it is because magnesium has helped me a lot when it comes to cramps and stuff. And even though I take it, I sometimes feel the cramps, but it has helped a lot. I also used to get, when I was trying to fall asleep, I could feel like my eyes were starting to shake without me doing it on purpose. And when I started to take magnesium, that helped a lot. Of course, combined with water intake. We need to be hydrated. Dehydration sucks for both cramps, but also our training. Let's do double. I don't even know what that one's called anymore. I'm gassed out. I feel like I need some light rest, at least a really solid sleep for 2 days, and then hopefully I'm back on track. So, I'll see you guys really soon. The license vlog is also coming, the next one. It's coming within 7 days from that I post this one. So, good things to look forward to. And then after that, I also have a special vlog from my trip there as well. It's a outdoor training, which is mad. So if you're someone who likes aesthetic part, the lighting that session was fucking crazy. So 2 really good vlogs to look forward to. I'm putting a bit more effort in the editing to make it like the vibes there, a little bit more music and stuff. And yeah, it's more effort into it because it definitely deserves it. So I'll see you guys then. But until the next time, hit like, subscribe, and ciao ciao!